Hi everyone. So this slideshow is all about how to do algebraic factoring. This is a task you are really going to need to get good at, and you'll have this year and a lot of time next year practicing this. Hopefully this slideshow will help you learn the techniques that I'm going to be expecting you to use and give you some practice. So we'll start with something you do know, and we've been doing lots in lessons up to now, which is expanding and distributing. When you distribute through parentheses, you're changing some sort of product of expressions into a sum of different terms. So for example, this is something you might have seen before. If we have two parentheses, x squared plus 3 and x minus 2, each of those parentheses contains an expression, various algebraic things added or subtracted. And we're multiplying the two parentheses together, so we have a product of expressions. If we use FOIL on this, you would have the x squared multiplied by the x to give x cubed, x squared times negative 2, 3 times x, and the plus 3 times the negative 2, all of which would give x cubed minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 6, and that's a sum of different terms. Each of these is just an individual object, a power of x with a number in front, and we're adding those all together. There's no multiplication of expressions left in that. So here's one to try. If we're asked to expand and simplify this, you should know that you multiply the 3 by everything in the parenthesis following it. So we'll get 3 times the x and 3 times the negative 5. And we get 3x minus 15. If you have two parentheses, we'll be using FOIL. And it gives time for you to follow along on your own. X squared, and then we'll have the x times the negative 5 as the outer pair, x times negative 5, plus 2 times the x, and then plus 2 times the negative 5 as our final part. Wrap those all together because we can combine and collect those two in the middle because they're just x terms, different numbers of x terms, so we can do the negative 5 and the plus 2. We get x squared minus 3x minus 10, and that's our end result. So this task of factoring is just the process of reversing that distribution that we just did. So you're changing a sum of terms back into a product of expressions. Instead of having loads of things added together, we're saying that it's various expressions multiplied together instead. And this is the result from the example I did earlier. And we know that that's the factored form that it came from. So the task is, can we do that? Can we combine various elements of this to work out what the form is when it is factored? And this factoring is unique. There's only one way to accurately factor this thing completely. So we need to find some way to get there. Okay, so in the next video, we'll carry on showing a method for getting there.